Republic Act number 9262, or otherwise known as the Violence Against Women and Children Act of 2004. The concept of violence is not just physical, but also psychological, sexual, and economic abuse, including threats as such acts, battery, assault, harassments, and many more. Good day to each and everyone. I am Axel Kenapat, 19 years of age, a resident of one of the biggest barangays here in Tagbilaran City, Barangay Dao. It is located in the northern part of the city, 3 kilometers away from the city proper. And I am here to talk about violence against women and children, or what we call now as VAUC. The Republic Act 9262, or otherwise known as the Violence Against Women and Children Act, is one of the laws that governs the right of children and women which are being harassed, being threatened, and being assaulted. So we have discussed what is the Violence Against Women and Children Act. We all know its definitions, we all have our own views. So let's ask ourselves, what is the penalty if ever the women and children would experience such kind of violence? So the penalty of such violence is imprisonment, and also you have to pay a fine not less than 500,000 pesos. So it also depends on the victim's case being studied by the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or what we call as DSWD, which acts as an advocate of trafficking and VAUC, or what we call as Violence Against Women and Children. They also provide technical support in formulating plans. If you feel being assaulted or being harassed, don't be afraid to ask help in the barangay. They will help you. They will give you a protection order which will help the victim be safe. But always remember, work your case. Don't let it get too long, because the protection order will expire in 1 month upon date issue. And also, you cannot file a case of violence against women and children if the person has no relationship with the victim. We are much grateful to the government which made a law that protects the rights of the children and women from harassment, sexual abuse, and many more. And now, to the 15 and 16 years of enactment of the Violence Against Women and Children Act, some of the Congress has perceived the need of expanding the law. Why there is a need? Because we are prone to technology. And with that, the Republic Act number 10175, or what we all know as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, in which it includes violence or an act of violence in utilized electronics. So without further ado, the government updated the Violence Against Women and Children Act, criminalizing those criminal acts being used or being done through the use of technology. So, the House Bill number 8655, or what we all know as the Expand Anti-Violence Against Women and Children, is an act that updated the Violence Against Women and Children law. So if you have experienced such criminalized act through the use of technology, don't hesitate to ask help in your barangay and to the government. So a question is asked again: is there any cases here in Barangay Dao of violence against women and children? So the cases here in Barangay Dao is very low. Yes, there are victims who experience violence against women and children, but the victims wouldn't proceed in filing the case because with a valid reasons. And if ever the victim would proceed in filing the case, then the protection order is being issued. If ever that protection order is being violated, therefore the violator will proceed straight to prison. Note to self, verbal abuse is a big deal to VAUC. The last question is VAUC strictly being followed here in Barangay Dao? Well, the answer of that is yes. we strictly followed the rules of the violence against women and children. That is why there are minimal cases. In short, we are very low in case of violence against women and children here in Barangay Dao. And to my recommendations to the violence against women and children law, why not also make a law that protects the right of men? Because there are cases that men are being abused by their wives because of the law that protects them. Yes, we also need protection because not all the time women and children are the victims. And I believe that everyone is a victim of such crime. So please, that would be all. This is Axel Ken Apat talking about violence against women and children. Thank you for sparing your time. That will be all. Thank you.